Hello and welcome to the Nikki and Ryan Experiment. I'm Nikki.
And I'm Ryan.
What's up? We have some awesome guests today. Let's say hello to Fitness Queen 99. Yay! We have Patty the Panda.
Yay!
And Old Man Murphy.
He's all right.
Yeah. Awesome. How's everybody doing tonight? We hope you're doing great. We're so glad you joined us. So we're going to get right into it. We have a lot to talk about tonight. We really want to talk about the upcoming election and what's kind of going on as we speak.
Real quick, I have to make a disclaimer, and that is we're not holding back on this show, guys. So if you don't like cursing, probably not a good idea to tune in tonight, because we have a lot of pent-up frustration to let out the day before the election, along with some anger and whatever. So we just want to let it all out. And I have a feeling a lot of you guys out there are going to be able to feel us on a lot of this. So, so yeah, we're going to be a little cussy tonight. So bear with us.
And we're also going to get to your questions. We're going to talk a little bit, and then we're going to answer questions along the way. And
we can see everybody's questions off everybody's stuff. So it doesn't matter which person you're trying to ask the questions. We see them all. So send them away.
Yes. Awesome. All right. So let's get started. Election. Let's first talk about the key states. So the key states that are really important in this election, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, Georgia, Florida. PA is big because, I mean, that's a huge state. It's a big swing state. But Joe Biden was born there, and he is, well known. And he's well known in that area. Philly and Pittsburgh go blue usually every election. So what do you guys need? Do you guys want to say anything about these key states?
I can, from experience of being in Wisconsin, I know there's the Supreme Court ruling where they couldn't count votes. I think the limit is 3 days after now instead of I can't remember the exact, but yeah, it's, our governor is Democratic, but our legislators are run Republically, and it's just it's a shit show.
Yeah.
But most importantly, guys, if you're in these states and you haven't voted yet, we need you guys to go out and vote. PA, especially Georgia, especially, Florida, Michigan, Arizona. These are key states. And if he loses Florida or Texas or Arizona, he's done. He's not going to be able to win this through the Electoral College. Yeah. So please, guys, get out and vote. And if you voted, go online and you can check your vote and make sure that it's been counted. So go on to your state's registered office or Secretary of State or wherever it is and find it. Google it, find it, and check and make sure that you've been counted.
So everything I'm hearing is that. Yeah, go ahead. I think you're going to say the same thing as me.
No, I think Pennsylvania is going to be blue. I think Donald Trump is really pissed off at the SCOTUS for allowing for that 3-day extension, which means that no matter what, he doesn't have Supreme Court approval to call an early victory on election day because he has to wait those 3 days, and that's super important. So all of this kind of fear mongering about Donald Trump calling a win at 8 p.m. on election day, that's not going to happen anymore. But Pennsylvania, despite the fracking stuff, despite the oil, Joe Biden is well up almost by, I think, 7 points in the latest poll that I've seen. So I think that's definitely gone blue.
Yeah, he's where, in PA?
In Pennsylvania,
yeah.
And I'm hearing that Pennsylvania, if it goes blue, that it makes his chances very exponential that he's going to win. So it looks good. I've been watching all the electoral maps, and that's why he has spent the past 2 days in Pennsylvania, because he knows that it's super important to be there. I know Trump's there, but fingers crossed it goes blue.
Let's see. Ivanka was just in Johnson Creek, which is a city, it's a small town in between Milwaukee and Madison. And I don't give a crap about her. But what I was saying before about the the fact that they're just going to all these swing states, it's testament to, they're losing here. But what I said before about what the Supreme Court said, I just brought up the article. The Supreme Court will not extend Wisconsin's deadline for mail ballots. They have to be, let's see, the absentee ballots have to be received by 8 p.m. election day, November 3rd. And normally they allow them to be postmarked by November 3rd and accepted at the latest 6 days after. So I just wanted
pulling out all the stops. He's pulling out all the stops for voter suppression.
He knows that he's burning though, because if he's getting his lawyers all ready for recounts.
That was his first call. He's like first call he's going to make. Is
let me be fair though. That's not horribly uncommon for candidates to do that, especially in close races. It's not horribly uncommon, but I think it does go to show that they know that they've lost, or it's going to be so close that that's the only way they can get this done is to have lawyers sit there and pick through every vote. Yeah.
And from what I'm understanding,
don't forget,
he's running out of money, and doesn't he have to pay for the recount himself?
Yeah.
But I mean, he hasn't paid for any of his rallies, so do you really think he's going to pay for all that shit?
What a dipshit!
Sure. Yeah. But don't forget, folks, that Joe Biden has plenty of money, and Joe Biden has an army of lawyers as well. So it's not just Donald Trump and his cronies rocking up at these places. Joe Biden has a whole cohort of people there as well to do the same, and I think it's going to get a little bit messy, lawyer on lawyer. But don't forget that Biden has all of those resources at his hand because he has hundreds of millions of dollars more in the kitty than Donald Trump, because Donald Trump, he lost some of his, apparently.
He has hundreds of millions and millions more. Hundreds.
Is that your Trump?
Accordion. He's lying.
I'm not sure.
I
have more money than any of you ever had.
It's perfect. It's spot on.
Yeah,
you're really good.
Doing the dog whistle there. Oh my gosh. You guys
will be
awesome.
Charging $5 for every impersonation from this point on. You can send it to our Venmo
the squad. Venmo at the squad.
Yes.
No,
I really wanted that to stick. I like that.
So, are you guys familiar with 538?
Not really. I saw that on the agenda.
So it's basically it's a website. It's a polling. They kind of gather all of this information, non-biased, and they pull it together. I actually have a clip that I wanted to show you guys. It kind of runs through. Ryan, am I still going to be able to talk at all, or am I going to mute it out?
When you hit it, you have to unmute yourself.
Okay. Let's take a look at this clip. This was from this morning. Why did that not get us out of there? Okay.
I'm seeing it.
Okay. Yeah. So it's Biden is, look at Biden in the States here. It's pretty insane. This is what they are predicting. Now we have to be really careful because, the polls can be somewhat misleading. I guess I should have made that a little bit longer, but this is where I get scared. All the polls are saying they're pointing toward Joe Biden, and that last one, it says like 90 out of 100 that Joe Biden will win, and it's only 9 out of 10 or 9 out of 100 that Trump can win, kind of stuff. But do you guys feel the same way I do about having I guess PTSD or flashbacks of 2016 and how I went to bed thinking that there's no way this guy's going to win, and I woke up to a red country?
Yeah.
So I think just in terms of the polls, I think it's really important that we need to remember that in 2016, the polls were right in terms of the percentage that Donald Trump got. He got about 22.6% of the overall vote. They were right. What the polls got wrong was the volume of people who didn't bother their arse to show up and vote. 103 million people didn't show up, remember. We're already at 97 million people voting so far. So I think that the correction has been made there. So I feel much more comfortable than 2016 because there's no apathy. There's far less apathy. There's far less undecided votes. And people don't trust Joe Biden. They hated Hillary Clinton. So they were right with Donald Trump's percentage of the vote. They were just wrong everywhere else. So just,
I know I know the votes, the youth vote is up tremendously.
Yes.
So a lot of these people that couldn't vote in the last election are now eligible to vote, and we're seeing like record numbers. And I had heard something, I don't know if you guys had heard the same thing about how the youth vote, they're all coming out like tomorrow, and they're all going to be voting.
That's
and it's
awesome.
going to be like this amazing wave. But
and
I really
hope too, he's lost the 65 and over.
Yes,
Remember
he has.
Yes,
he has.
They voted for him in 2016, but now they can't get out of their house.
They're like,
and the average years of life that COVID, when someone gets COVID, the average years that they lose when they pass away is 12 years. So people, sitting in their 60s are going, I'm vulnerable. I can't leave my house. I can't see my grandkids. And, me being 55, I'm not quite there, but he's lost those people. So now we're looking at the young and the old that he's lost.
Absolutely.
I saw an infographic that kind of illustrated, how Texas ended up in 2016, where we were led to believe that, 52% voted for Trump and only 43 voted for Hillary, when it was actually 24% of all of Texas voted for Trump, 23% voted for Hillary, and then 48% of Texas didn't vote at all. Yeah. So that's something Crazy. That we all didn't see, is that these hidden numbers of people that just didn't vote in 2016. So, and I think that's the big difference between 4 years ago and now is that there's so many people that are just going out in droves and hitting early voting and mailing and everything like that.
So that touches on Mr. Cube here talking about, do you think Trumpers will hurt people? I live in a Republican state, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be safe. Now here's my thing, and this is what I want to touch on, what Nikki and Maria were talking about with the youth vote coming out. I'm afraid there's been a couple of places today and yesterday where voters who are walking in groups to go vote were actually pepper sprayed. This is just, it's voter intimidation, and they're going to do it to kids. They're going to do it to old people. They don't care who it is. They're going to try to stop you from voting. So, do I think that they're going to hurt people? I think they will, a small group of them. I don't think it's everybody, but so guys,
wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah. Well, no, it's bullshit, because it shouldn't be wrong place, wrong time. You're showing up to vote, you're showing up to use your right, and you have a bunch of people that are being told by the president of the United States that they can show up and intimidate you, and it's bullshit.
If you see anyone with guns, if you see anyone showing up with the guns, call the police right away, because that is the biggest way that they're going to intimidate, by brandishing firearms. And I would have my phone with me at all times. And
I don't know where I saw this, but gosh, Ryan, I don't know if it was you that sent this to me or I saw it on TikTok, but or somebody sent it to me in my DMs. But they're paying people to be poll watchers, more like poll intimidators, $100 to go. There was a robocall.
Yeah, and they were doing it through a secondary organization so that the Republican Party and Trump could have plausible. Well, it wasn't us. Yeah, bullshit.
Plausible denial. It's just, literally the disgusting nature of this election from the Trump the Trump campaign is unbelievable.
This right here
expected it, but
this right here kind of pisses me off, because
me too.
And Nikki, you've known that I've said this. I'll go out wearing a Black Lives Matter, and I always say, if you want to know what it feels like to be black and you're white, put on a Black Lives Matter t-shirt and go out to the store.
Absolutely.
So the fact that people and I feel this way too. These people will go out and put those Trump flags and wear the shirts and the hats, and they do it proudly, and they'll tell everybody to fuck off. But then we can't go out with our Biden stuff on without them attacking us. The hypocrisy so sickening.
It really is.
Can I just say that this is all bizarre. Like I live in Ireland. I live in an actual democracy. And first of all, our voting cycle is only 6 weeks long. But it doesn't matter who you vote for or who you're going to vote for. Nobody asks and nobody gives a damn. But people will bring you out tea and sandwiches and have the chat, and it's very much a community scenario where nobody cares if you vote blue or red, and we have 9 political parties, and it's very much a community, wonderful democratic scenario. And then we look over at the US and we're like, why are they bringing AR-15s to vote? What is that about? That makes no sense whatsoever. You guys shouldn't be afraid to wear a cap to go vote.
Brain Daddy.
It's scary, and there's a different context, you know. So
Yep.
Yep, absolutely.
It is. It's so nice and so great to have you here, especially Patty, because you bring a view into our like norm here in the United States. Like you have just like a different view, and you're looking in the fishbowl, even though you guys are affected by this administration as well, kind of, you know, like a distant cousin. But you know, so we really you like that, Murphy? We really we really like love hearing people's perspective from outside of our country.
When I look at the USA, it's almost like looking at somebody who's in an abusive relationship. When you're in the relationship, you think, oh, it's going to be fine, it'll change. And you're not really aware of the damage that's happening until somebody tells you from outside, you're getting the shit kicked out of you here. Yeah. You're not in a safe scenario, and you need to get away from there. And how can I help? You know, so it's very much like that. Under Bush, we laughed at you because Bush was an idiot. But under Trump, we're worried about your welfare.
Thank you.
He's an idiot, but he's dangerous. He's a dangerous idiot.
Well, and I will
manipulated.
Say that the United States, I know it's probably easy to lump everything together, but the community I live in, we're very liberal, we're very blue. And so I can wear my Biden shirt, I can wear my nasty woman shirt, and people are like, oh, I like your shirt. So, you know, wear my pink hat. So if I wore a Trump shirt here, somebody would say something to me.
Well, so I would say something to you, girl.
I don't have a Trump shirt, but I think I said if I wear my Trump shirt, I don't have one. But
well, yeah. All right.
That's a joke.
Time for her to go.
I'm like, where did
I'm a
fitness
spy,
queen
I forgot
go?
to tell you.
Oh my gosh. Oh my God, that's funny. So in talking about like voter suppression and everything that we're seeing at the polls with people trying to instigate some sort of, I don't know, rising or just to intimidate voters at the polls to make them feel unsafe while, you know, before they go in. We're seeing this. And now in the news, Ryan, we saw the Caravan. I'm sure everyone has seen this, but we're going to show it again. I mean, really pay attention. The white car behind the Biden bus has its flashers on. It is a part of the Biden campaign. It's there. It's, you know, there. It's following the bus. And this truck is extremely obnoxious. So and actually hits the car.
Same here in Tucson, Brain Daddy.
Yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at this.
Running them out of Texas. It is hilarious. I'm about to run out of gas, which I'm sure some of you would love. Shit, look at that. Oh my God.
So yeah,
and they said it was the Biden supporters' fault. It was all the one Biden supporter that was surrounded by the 12 Trump vehicles. Like,
yeah, that's bullshit.
Did you guys hear about the guy that was driving the truck?
No. Yeah, the guy that was he has a past record of
he has a DUI, doesn't have a license. Like all this crazy shit, and
he's been filmed running through protest. I mean, not actually running over, but you know, barreling through in that exact same truck.
Yep.
But he also buys food for the cops, and he caters to them, so they're giving him a pass at whatever he wants to do because he's in the system, and it's.
Well, the bullshit. FBI are all up. They're all up his ass right
now. Good.
I
hope.
I was going to say, and the public too. Once they get a hold of his information, I wouldn't want to be that guy.
You know, like listen, I know this is. Go ahead. Nope. Go ahead.
People are defending this. People are defending this as
defending
Kyle Rittenhouse. Why wouldn't or BLM?
Oh, Kyle Rittenhouse.
A dozen cars. There's a dozen cars with a bus traveling at high speeds. Anything could happen there. Anything could happen. The bus could have flipped over. Men, women, possibly children on board. It's not normal, and it's certainly not okay for 12 trucks to try and. You know, and that's something that police officers do when they're trying to stop speeding vehicles is they box it in and they try to control the direction of the bus from there.
Yep.
That's exactly what was happening. And what was disgusting, what was absolutely vile, was Donald Trump tweeted about it, and then in his rally later on that evening, he praised it as
Texas.
it should be the #1 trending thing in the world. It's absolutely really.
And I thought when he was first campaigning, when he started making fun of that guy, when he was doing that, I thought that was going to be the end of it. It's like, no one in their right mind is going to vote for somebody that disgusting. And look where we are now.
Well, as a female, I thought he was done when he talked about sexually assaulting women.
Oh, yeah.
Grab him in there.
I mean, we never heard from Billy Bush is gone, right?
Yeah.
His career's over. Meanwhile, Trump gets,
How is it? How does this guy get away with this? I don't understand.
My husband calls him Teflon Trump.
It is. He's a cockroach. Nothing can kill this guy. Nothing can kill his career. Nothing can, you know what I mean? Like, it is just, he is untouchable, it seems at times. Like the shit that he was doing. We talked about this yesterday, but the worst thing that Obama did publicly was wear a tan suit. And it's like, he got so much shit for wearing a freaking tan suit when you have this mofo inciting violence at every turn, just bumping up his base to do all of these horrible things. He's got his son, he's got the nepotism running, like flowing freely within his administration. And like, still they follow him like it's,
Well, and for me, I don't know if you saw the TikTok video I did today, but for me, it all came to a very emotional head. Because I've been trying to get all this stuff done today and some other things. So
I did see that, Ryan.
Yeah, I asked Jen to go to the store, and she told me she was afraid to go out. And I just assumed it was the COVID and everything. And then she corrected me, and she's like, no. She goes, with everything going on, the news and like watching the TikToks and everything, she's like, I'm afraid to go out. And that hit me because I'm like, fuck, my wife's afraid to go outside of our home right now. Like, that's not okay. And knowing that if my wife's afraid, being a military veteran, having me here, and all these other things, I'm like, if my wife's afraid, then I know that almost every other Black woman and Black person out there is probably afraid too. And this man and this administration has done nothing but perpetuate this problem. Now, somebody has said something that he created this problem. Donald Trump didn't create this problem. No, Donald Trump just made all these assholes think it was okay to come out and do this.
He made racism
acceptable again.
Yeah. My son works in DC, and he got an email from headquarters today, and the company he works for is telling everyone in DC at their office there that they're going to work from home for the rest of the week, not to come out because they're expecting civil unrest.
Yeah.
Well, what is it you said? I came back in from earlier, and Jen said that they were putting up barriers around the White House.
Yeah. I think honestly, like, I looked into that, and it's the same thing as when they're gearing up for protests, which in my opinion is, I think he knows he's gonna, I don't know. Why would he put them up? Maybe thinking he might win, and they're going to be protests outside about it. It's just, I think
it's not just there. And anybody, correct me if I'm wrong here. You guys are in the comments, but in my lifetime, I don't remember seeing cities board up like this. Like the day
we are in a pandemic. We're in a pandemic. A lot of civil unrest. It's a tinderbox right now. People are on edge. So this is just going to be another thing that will set either. It just is crazy, unprecedented times. And I wanted to say, I don't want to seem like a Pollyanna when I say this, but I tend to be an optimist, and it's probably comes with my age of seeing a lot. And I think that the pendulum swung so far when we elected Barack Obama, and he was such a great president, eloquent, intelligent, and caring, that of course the pendulum swung back the other way. And I really think that this is going to be a blip in our history. It's going to be this blemish, but I think we're going to see a swing come back. I really do. I think it's going to come back, and this is going to die off, but we will have, the consistent conspiracy theories, that are out there. But I do think this is a huge wake-up call for America not to be complacent, and to get everybody involved.
Absolutely.
So there's a couple of things there. Just in terms of the fence around the White House, this new unscalable fence that Donald Trump is talking about, the psychology of that is interesting because it almost speaks for him protecting him. He doesn't want to be removed for office. So it's a fence to keep him in rather than a fence to keep you all out. So there's that kind of scenario. But also Donald Trump, as you said, is a conduit. When Donald Trump is gone, those same hateful people, those people who are angry, those people who are reading QAnon stuff, Facebook, all of that, they're all still going to be there. So as we correct the swing, we need to make sure that when we're correcting it, that we're educating the next generation of people coming through to make sure that they are not filled with hate and they don't blame the same people for the injustice in their own lives as the people who are doing so right now.
And let me take that opportunity to say that we have, I know for a fact, we have a couple of minors in here with us right now, younger folks. Thank you for being in here with us and hearing what we're saying and being a part of the discussion. You guys are awesome and you're our future. So yes, thank you. Love you. But yeah, so I just wanted to throw that in there. You want to move on to the next thing? What was it,
well, I mean, so let's talk about PA and Jersey. There's voter intimidation going there. They're blocking the roadways, the bridges. You know, it's insane. I know we had touched on this already, but I wanted to go a little bit more in depth about this. Like our right as American citizens is to be able to vote, no matter in what form it is. And it seems as though we are trying to be suppressed at every turn, whether it's physically, whether it is, through the mail, whether it's, a court case or whatever. Our voices are trying to be suppressed. And I want to hear what you guys are thinking about this and how you can draw some lines to, what has happened in the past.
I did see one video, I think it was in New Jersey, where there was a big Trump caravan that was blocking up the road. And then finally, I believe it was either the county sheriff or state troopers that were actually escorting every one of these cars into a wayside. All of them were ticketed. All of them were fined. And that was happening in New Jersey. So with all of this going on where, you have your quote unquote Trump train running through the country, there is good coming of this, that the law enforcement that know what they're supposed to do. It has nothing to do with political standpoints whatsoever. These individuals are blocking traffic. They are prohibiting us from exercising our American rights, and that is wrong, and they are fining these people. We need to see more. I believe that there is a lot of bad that is going on, but we need to see more of these stories where actual law enforcement aren't pepper spraying our kids. We do need to see that stuff that there is law enforcement that is pepper spraying. We need to see that. We do. But we also need to see that there is still good in this. We can't just say, "Oh, well, fuck it, I'm moving to Canada." We can't we can't just think it. Oh well, it's a lost cause. We can't. They're accepting LGBTQ folks. Actually, there was a thing that came out.
I'm lesbian.
I'm lesbian.
I'm lesbian too. Okay, we're going Canada.
Come to Ireland.
I need to go back. I
I
haven't been there.
I think he was talking to Fitness Queen and me.
But yeah,
I was talking to all.
He was talking to me.
Absolutely.
We need to see both sides of it. That America isn't a lost cause. We can rebuild from the ashes that Trump has burned this son of a bitch down, and we can rebuild. There is still good in this country that we can. The foundation is still there. And we can use that and build off of it. Erase these 4 years, learn from them, but just wipe them out and start from, okay, now we know, okay, well, shit, this can't happen. So we need to, okay, well, we can't do this. We got to build from it, because it's that old saying is that this is why we can't have nice things, because of this shit. So,
well, and we have to keep it all into perspective as well. I was curious about how many people actually voted for Donald Trump in 2016. And I looked at the population of America and the percentage of people who voted for him. Not the registered voters, but the percentage. And only 19% of Americans voted for him. Now, granted, not all Americans can vote because they're too young or whatever the case is. So when I look at that, I'm like, okay, that 19%, man, they sure can be loud, can't they? Yeah. And so I think of it like the your light bulb right before it burns out is the brightest, right? And they know.
Talking about being the brightest, they're not the brightest. 2 years ago, a caravan.
Just a light bulb, not
2 years ago, a caravan was the most disgusting, vile thing. Yep. There's a caravan coming from South America, and it's the most disgusting thing in the world. And now a caravan is the most powerful symbol of strength and patriotism. They're dumb as a box of rocks. And we need to start calling them what they are sometimes. Yes. They're 99% idiots, 1% rich guys trying to control them a little bit.
Agreed.
But
Foghorn
Leghorn
said it best
on a road.
Yeah, Foghorn Leghorn said it best when these boys are about as smart as a bag of hammers.
I love it. I love Foghorn Leghorn.
I say.
I'll say.
These guys,
pay attention when I'm talking to you.
Oh man!
Wait. We had somebody make a request. So where is it? Where did it go?
I can't see.
Come on, Patty.
Oh, come on. Do the impression, Patty.
You posted a big win for
Patty, get in character. You need the
deal.
My fellow Americans, this very morning, for political reasons, I made sure that your very fine armed forces rescued somebody who did not need to be rescued, but was actually hiding from me. Thank you very much. Something like that, yeah. I don't know what to comment about.
Bravo!
It blows my mind, man.
Yeah.
He's way better at his impression than I am.
Oh yeah, I'm not even gonna try after that.
My husband hates my impression. He's like, oh God, that's terrible.
Very good, Donald. Yes, next time emphasize the we. Yes, very good. Yes.
Is that Melania? Okay, now you're Melania?
I mean, I have the same cup size.
Was that Vladimir or
I do Melania? Have the same cup size as Melania, so maybe
I'm gonna miss on that one,
bud. I've been growing them for a while, so that's me.
To kill you.
Oh my goodness. So we were talking about just somebody had said, I can't remember who it was, about history and learning from what's going on now. Murphy, I think it was you. So that takes me to something else I wanted to talk about, and that was Trump talking about and actually saying, and he actually, I think, put it into an executive order and has an executive order now for the 1776 Commission. For those of you that don't know what that is, I just want you to watch this clip really quickly. I do believe this is a big FU to the 1619 project. So let's go ahead and take a look at this clip.
If I told you that the year 1619 is as important to the American story as the year 1776.
We're going to teach our children the truth about America, that we're the most exceptional nation ever to exist, and we're getting better every single day.
They say that the 1619 Project, which puts American racism at the center of the story and says 1776 isn't really the best way to understand the founding of our nature. 1619 and the beginning of the slave trade, that's the place to start. They say that that is a bastardization of American history and that it's fundamentally untrue, and that by asking these kind of questions about one's personal racism or institutional racism, you are so undermining American institutions and patriotism that you're almost paralyzing people. If you value free thought and individualism and education, you should be very concerned about the history, the historical sensibility that Trump is promoting.
Wow.
So this is the indoctrination that we were speaking of, that he wants to, Murphy.
I need that after just hearing his voice.
I know, right? For real. But this seriously is what they're talking about indoctrinating, like this regimented patriotic education that is going to be put together and teaching patriotism. So basically leaving out those things in history that will help to not repeat itself. So
You think they'll call this the Trump youth?
I'm sorry, what?
You think they'll call this the Trump youth?
Ooh, like Hitler's youth.
Well, so here's the thing.
I think only
in August of,
if he fucking wins again,
in
maybe.
August of 1934, Hitler signed a similar executive order, something similar, and that led to the Hitler Youth. It absolutely did, and it led to the further indoctrination of the German people. Now, it was kind of willful a little bit, but history does repeat itself, and Donald Trump is literally saying to the American people, we only want you guys to know what we're brilliant at, so we're only really going to teach you that we saved Europe in World War II, hip hip hooray, put a flag around your shoulders. And unfortunately, the history of a country, there's good times, there's bad times, there's nasty times, and there's exceptional times. And you have to have all of those four things together to get character. And what Donald Trump is saying to Americans, we don't want you guys to have any character. We'll look after that. You guys follow suit. That's it.
Yep.
It is exactly following the lines of controlling the education and teaching the children what you want them to learn and leaving out everything else that you don't want them to learn, to continue with the bias and the hate and the agenda that they have.
Yep.
So what can
and I think
so what can we do as creators and influencers just consistently address these issues? I mean,
well, I mean, I've said that before. I personally think it's very important for, pretty much all of us here are white, men and women. I think it's important for us to stand up and support these people and say what we're saying, to say that we're not okay with this. And more importantly, to not just stay silent and think that, staying silent is good enough. It's not. It's not okay to just sit back and say, well, that's not my problem anymore. This is all of our problems. And if we've learned anything over the last 2 to 4 years, that this is our problem now.
It is.
And so I think us being, the white and being all different ages and different sexes, but just we need to all use our platforms to support the communities that aren't being represented the right way. And that brings me, I'll end it with this. It was a good meme that I read that said, think about the most at risk person or weakest person and vote with them in mind. You know what I mean? And I didn't say that well, but vote for the community that is most at risk.
Well, that's called empathy. That's called empathy and the greater good.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, so many Americans view empathy as a weakness, and it's all about protecting what they have. And
well, there you go.
Heartbreaking.
I think that that's important too. Is that we make having empathy, okay again. That we make accepting other people and caring about other people acceptable and okay again. Because somewhere we've disconnected from this. Love thy neighbor and help each other. Like, it's just, we don't have these communities the way we used to. Even when I grew up, it's just totally different from the 80s and 90s even. Yeah. So, I feel like we are going in the way wrong direction. And this Trump administration in the last 4 years has just highlighted every problem that has gotten us here.
Well, Ryan, I need to add to that. Growing up in the 80s and in the 90s, I lived in a very white, suburban neighborhood. I'm from Ireland. And so I grew up, I was pretty damn poor, but I think that all of this still existed, very much so. But I didn't know about it because I wasn't exposed to it.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's just, I feel like things have gotten better from that time until Fucknuts has been, you know, elected. And it's almost like all of these cockroaches just said, finally, we can come out and it's like they're just coming out in these masses. It's insane to me how many people are like this. It's disgusting.
My
it's
thing
like
is this.
Trump,
How did we go from having a black president to this?
Exactly.
Because the pendulum had to swing the other way.
Honestly, I think,
and we got complacent.
If you, I mean, you remember during Obama's presidency, there were a lot of people that put up signs like "Hang in there, Obama," and it would be a noose on there, and there all those kind of stuff like that. And I honestly, I mean, they were just waiting and waiting and waiting. And basically, I think of Trump as he's the one that lifted up the rock, and then all these cockroaches just scurried out.
And then he's been feeding them.
Yes.
Feeding them. He's been feeding them.
And
like
now we have the goddamn
he's only
bug.
playing to his base. He's not even trying to play outside of his base.
He just doesn't even try and hide it.
And now we have this, I mean, exactly what they were feeding him and feeding him and feeding him. And now we have this giant ass bug at the end of Men in Black. And what the hell are we going to do with that shit? We got
that movie ends with a pussy. I remember that. So there you go.
Oh, was that your
answer? Well played, Maria. Well played.
So, but guys, I just want to add to that. So before Donald Trump, before Donald Trump, as far as I like, we had the Tea Party. The Tea Party tried to stir up that hate and resentment within the American people, and we already have the next generation. We have the likes of Charlie Kirk and those assholes who you know the young boys. They're already lined up to take over for Donald Trump to be the next wave of this hate and resentment. But also, I just wanted to say just quickly there, just in terms of your community, it's so polarized. In Ireland during Corona, we came together as a community. There's no hate. We all came together, and it reminded me of growing up in the 80s and the 90s, where everybody would help one another. And then I look at the US, and it's like Tom and George screaming at each other over the viability of a mask. It's we currently are in lockdown, and we have that sense of community. So it is achievable, but you have to work at it.
Yep.
It's like the Hatfields and McCoys, but it's instead of over what they were fighting over, it's over a goddamn mask.
Exactly.
It's the dumbest thing.
It's not so here's the thing. It's not about the mask. It's about somebody telling them what they have to do. And Trump has given them carte blanche on saying, you know what? No, I don't want to. I don't want to wear it.
Yep.
And you know, and if he would from the get-go would have said, you need to wear your mask to protect the American people, they would have been the ones with their guns out on the street saying, why aren't you fucking wearing a mask?
Yeah.
So I actually
they're so incredibly ingrained in this whole Trumpism like philosophy or cult or whatever you want to call it. It is scary.
And I actually want to talk about this. Vincent's bringing this up. I have a couple people in my family who are doctors and nurses and in the medical field. And I got to tell you, this comment really pissed them and me off because to imply that doctors are just going around willy-nilly and saying, oh, they died from COVID for their pocketbook. That's fucking insane.
They would lose their license.
They
lose their license. Like that. It's just insane. And I'd also like to point out, has anybody shown any kind of proof of this happening? Has anybody been able to provide any kind of factual data that this is happening besides the fact that Trump said it's happening?
And why is he making the medical community the enemy now? They saved his life. They saved him.
Exactly. Because you know why? You know why? Because he will never take responsibility for his own actions. All of his failures, he will always put onto somebody else. He will never accept those things. He sees it as a weakness. In reality, Trump, if you're listening, it is a strength when you can admit that you were wrong about something and make it better. But he will never do that. And now he is blaming the people that are saving people's lives on a daily basis and putting their own lives in danger every single day. And it's disgusting. And he needs to go.
Yeah. The proof of this is actually on Hunter Biden's laptop.
And Hillary's emails.
Yes, I'm too.
Yeah, they're right there. Her emails are probably on Hunter's laptop.
He is so transparent. How do people not see this? How do these people not see how incredibly transparent he is? Is Fox News that great at lying? I mean,
they're simple-minded.
It's not even about simple-minded. It's about the fact that they are just like him. They do the same things he does. They think the same way that he does. They probably cheat on their taxes the same way he does. They probably conduct business the same way he does. Just like 50 Cent and Lil Wayne. The reason that they're supporting this guy is because they use the tax system to their benefit. 50 Cent declared bankruptcy to restructure. He literally sat there and told us what he was doing. And then he turns around and supports Trump. You know why? Because he's doing the same fucking shit.
Did you hear what he said? He said he wants to be 50 cent, not 20 cent. Well, you know what, mofo? Then you should have invested your money better.
Well, and speaking of money, we all know that the tax break that Trump did in 2016 for the top 1%, those breaks will be running out for the middle class in 2021. So not only are, you've got people freaking out that, oh my God, Biden's going to have more taxes for people making over $400,000, which is, I don't even know the percentage of Americans, 3% of Americans maybe, but they don't realize that Trump has screwed everyone. So he's increased the deficit, giving all these billionaires tax breaks. And who's going to have to take on that burden? It's going to be the Americans. We've got this huge deficit. It's got to be paid off. It has to be paid off. And you know what? Taxes go towards schools, roads, Social Security. Now they're saying Social Security could be gone within 10 years. I mean, I don't plan on Social Security because I don't trust what the government does with money. So I take care of my, we make sure.
Go ahead. Maria, can you explain
let me explain to you what taxes do in Ireland. Let me tell you what taxes do in Ireland. In Ireland, we're in lockdown. Not one single person has to worry about money or has to worry about putting food on their table. We give every citizen who's been affected by COVID $420 per week. Their mortgage is stayed, their rent is put off. They don't have to worry about anything at all. They just have to worry about keeping their family safe and not spreading the disease. Why do we have that system? Because we pay taxes. We don't waste 2.7 trillion on the military, but we look after our own citizens. And I don't understand why in America people are so focused on making sure that Donald Trump only pays $750 per year instead of saying, hey, if you use my taxes better, I will have free healthcare and free education like they have in Ireland and the rest of Europe.
Because they will say that's socialism, and they don't want to have they don't even know what socialism is. They have no understanding of what it is. Because again, they're going to try to protect
social democracy.
Yeah, they're going to try to protect the pot that they piss in.
All they know about socialism is that socialism somehow leads to communism, and we can't have that because we're America. We're not the USSR. That it's all leading back to McCarthyism back in the 50s. It's just an insane rhetoric that we've all heard before, but they keep on want to spin they want to play the same record over and over and over, and some of us. Let us listen to new jazz for Christ's sake. I mean, we want to move on to something different. But it's just I don't know.
Let me add to that.
I don't know what the kids today listen to.
People are afraid of what they don't know about. They will immediately shy away from something that they are not familiar with. So I think
the number one cause of bankruptcy is medical costs in America.
My gosh.
Now with COVID is going to be a pre-existing condition.
Absolutely.
And Trump is trying to get rid of that clause.
His book this big that
Brooke Leslie saw with. COVID has been declared a pre-existing condition, and on top of that, if you've had COVID, you can no longer enlist in the military. So what the fuck do they know in the military that we don't?
So you're telling me that if you have had COVID, you can't enlist in the military?
Right now, that is the way it is, correct.
Holy cow. Well, you're hearing
if you had it, not if you have it. I need you guys to hear me. Not if you have it. If you have had it and you have the antibodies, you cannot enlist in the military as of right now.
Well, I know the medical community is now saying that COVID can be linked to dementia. So there are effects on the brain.
Yep. We don't know what this is.
That can't be Trump's excuse. It started way before he got COVID.
But see this.
Cocaine and Big Macs.
This is the thing, guys. It's not about survive or die when it comes to COVID, because it's survive with a litany of different medical conditions. So you can have scarring of the heart, the lungs, kidney failure, and some people have had amputations because they've had sepsis of the blood, cognitive decline, blindness, hypertension. All of these things are lifelong conditions that you get because you've had COVID. It doesn't mean that it's not survive or die like the flu. It's not like the flu. This thing will last for the rest of your life. And as you said, in America, it's now a pre-existing condition. And I just want to make you all sick. I recently got a hip replacement in Ireland, and the whole thing, including my post-op and rehab, cost me $120.
So you said that you have a room in your house.
Sorry, I'm moving.
Did you just say 100? What?
I've always wanted to live in Dublin. I'm not going to lie.
I can actually concur.
$120. Yeah.
Patty, add us to your list of 40-some thousand people that you've adopted already.
I will totally set for that.
I can actually concur with what Patty just said. I just learned over the weekend that my cousin who lives in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, he had COVID in last November. And now, because he had it and he's recovered from it, he is now having medical condition. He's having severe lung conditions where his lung capacity is about to 20%, and the medication that he's on is not working. So they're trying all these different. But yeah, it's exactly what you're talking about. That if you've had it before, it will affect you later on for the rest of your life.
How old is he?
He's younger. Oh God, I don't even know. He's younger than me. I'm 43. And I know the whole old man thing. That's a different story, but don't ask me here. So the whole he is I want to say maybe 5 to 10 years older. So he's in his mid 30s.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
And don't forget, you can get it a second time. You can get COVID again. The antibodies only last in Europe in particular, there's a lot of people who are now getting it for a second time because just like Donald Trump and other people, they thought, well, I've had it, I'm now immune, therefore I can do whatever I like. And they are now in a much worse condition because they've had it for a second time.
So that's scary.
But remember, the Trumpsters are saying if Biden gets elected, it'll go away. So I'm super hopeful for that. It's going to go away November 4th.
Yeah.
Knock on wood.
Listen, when George Soros called me up a few months ago and said, "Hey, Pat,
I'm still waiting on that son of a bitch's paycheck, for fuck's sake."
Patty, we've got this global thing going to get rid of Trump. Now, we've talked to everybody individually, and everybody is in on it so far. All 6.8 billion people outside of America. Are you in? And I said, I'll do it for $1 million. So, yeah. Thanks, George.
$1 million.
Appreciate it. The conspiracy continues.
That's perfect.
All right, so we want to move on to the Lindsay.
Yeah. So speaking of dickheads, let's go ahead.
You know what? You know I've got dirt on him. You know I've got dirt on Lindsay, right?
Oh God, girl, we need to hear it. So I saw this today, and there's actually more that he had said at this particular speech thing that he did. He's just an ass. Like, listen to this shit. Here we go.
I want every young woman to know there's a place for you in America if you're pro-life. If you embrace your religion and you follow traditional family structure, that you can go anywhere, young lady.
Okay. What the hell?
There's a place for you.
Is this not Handmaid's Tale kind of shit going on right here? Like, I mean, barefoot and pregnant shit. I mean, you listen to what us men want you to be like, and there's going to be a place for you. Well, what does that mean for me? What does that mean for Fitness Queen? What does that mean in general? Like, are you going to get rid of us? Are you going to? Sorry, that was my
No,
rage.
it means get your ass back in the kitchen where you belong.
You know what?
That's
My husband
exactly
doesn't even
what
like
he
my
means.
cooking.
He's just eloquently wording it a different way. I am dead serious, Ryan. That is exactly what he's saying. He's just wording it a different way.
I mean, he's put our husbands back to work. Now we got to get in the kitchen. So
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm with Sierra.
Well, yeah, Trump said that he was getting all of the men back to work in Pennsylvania. He wanted to get all the men back to work. Wives, getting your men back to work. And like, what about all the women that work? What about them? They work too. Nah, fuck them. They can stay in the kitchen.
And
yeah, Lindsey Graham is a walking hypocrisy. Because, well, I'm not going to out him, but
you don't need. We already know. We already know.
You know what's going on in DC when he's in DC, right? Do you know what's going on?
He's so far in the closet. He's in Narnia.
Yeah, but
beat around the bush. You know what I mean? Like, let's not. I keep looking for his wife, and she's in Narnia searching for him. Let's not pull our punches. He's in fucking Narnia.
But here's the thing.
High five.
Would you like some Turkish delight there, Lindsay?
So
he's hanging out with Mike Pence in Narnia.
Sorry, I gotta hear.
Well, I have quite a few gay friends, being in the industry that I am in, and the gay community won't out him because they have a code that they won't out. Someone has to do that for themselves, but he's quite popular in DC with male escorts. And I'm like, can't we just make it the exception one fucking time? Come on. Can't we do it?
This is one
seriously.
I mean, he's like the one guy that breaks the bro code, and then you need to say, fuck this guy. He broke the bro code. Let's fuck him over. So yeah.
I think he would like that.
Well, maybe one of you guys could go undercover as a male escort and then.
Yes.
Oh, well.
Hey, Lindsay.
My wife just put me out of the corner as it is. I don't have time for that.
But no,
Murphy said something. Stay tuned. This is going to be good.
Is Murphy hopping a plane right now?
Dude, Murphy, holy shit, he's awesome. I love Murphy. He's coming back. Trust me.
So, yeah, I have a lot of. Oh, what's happening? Yeah.
Let's see. You're so seductive.
Hi, Mikey.
It's the cheekbones for me. But listen, in terms of Lindsey Graham, let's not forget that in his debate for the Senate, he said this exact same thing about people of color. He said there's a place for people of color as long as you're a Republican, as long as you're a conservative. You can run for public office in North Carolina. It's North Carolina, isn't it?
South Carolina.
As long as you're
South
Carolina. As long as you're a Republican and as long as you're a conservative. So you can be anything you want to be, whether you're a person of color or a woman, as long as it's exactly what I want.
Well, his opponent is African American.
As long as you're conservative and you believe the things. I mean, what kind of mind fuck is that?
Well, Jamie Harrison, his opponent, is a African American guy. So Jamie Harrison, when they brought this new Supreme Court nominee out, and they kept playing Lindsey Graham saying, "Use my words against me. We will never put in, a judge during an election year." I was like, I was like on my phone.
This was 2015.
I was like, "Who's his opponent? Who's his opponent?" And I just started sending money to Jamie Harrison. I was like, I don't live in South Carolina, but I'm sending money. And then I started sending money to Mitch McConnell's opponent.
Amy McGrath.
Yeah, she doesn't probably stand a chance in hell. But
I really don't
Jamie Harrison, well, man, if Lindsey Graham could get voted out.
You know who can beat Lindsey Graham? Dialysis.
You're taking the piss.
I'll one up you. You know who could beat Lindsey Graham? I'm not going to say that one. That might actually get the video pulled. So.
Yeah.
Do it.
I'll say it after the cameras are off.
Do we have a bleep button somewhere?
No, I wish we did.
No, I'm just kidding. Oh
That'll
my
be
God.
in the editing. That'll be the editing.
I'll say it after the stream is over. I'll say that.
Oh my gosh.
All right. With
Yes,
that being said, guys, we're at about an hour exactly. Actually, we got
let's look at some questions.
We got 136 people on here with us. So
Nice.
let's take some questions.
Gonna answer some questions.
Yep. So, and this can be for any of us. It can be about anything. Yes, I don't wear clothes when I'm.
Oh, hey.
DM me, damn it. I'm married. I'm tempted to either move. Bless you.
Oh no, I
the whole
called.
point of
Thank
a
you.
democracy. Oh, sorry. This isn't the whole point of a democracy that everyone is entitled to choose their political representatives.
Put my old lady glasses on.
You know, it's supposed to be that way, but somehow our system became so skewed that we've created a way for lobbying, which is to be legal, and for them to steal a freaking election away from what the popular vote is. Look, I understand the reason for districting and representation through Congress and Senate and all that stuff, but when it comes to the president, that is the one vote, in my opinion, that should be strictly based off of popular vote.
I agree.
It doesn't matter where the fuck you live. If for the president, the president's supposed to listen to your representative. That's what matters in your little district and your whatever. But the president should just simply be based off of the country. Who wins the most votes across the country?
I will never understand people that still fight for the Electoral College, and their main argument is, oh, well, then the president's going to be picked by everyone in California and New York. And I'm like, no, that's what's happening now with the Electoral College. I mean, you have 11 states that if they get one vote in that candidate's favor and nobody else votes, 11 votes can pick the president.
Yep.
Statistically.
Mm-hmm.
So like I said, I'm in a swing state. I'm in Arizona. Patty, of course, is in Ireland. What about you guys? Maria?
I'm in a swing state.
Wisconsin. So yeah, swing state right now. I'm as purple as you can get.
I'm in Virginia. I'm in Virginia, and we tend to go liberal, but that's only been the last few elections. Personally, I live in a very liberal city, so I live in a bubble. I live in a beautiful, beautiful blue bubble.
Blue bubble.
It's wonderful.
I would really like if it would be a size 13, preferably, because that's.
Oh, okay. I can help you there.
There you go.
Oh, wow.
You know what they say about guys with big feet? They wear
big shoes.
Exactly.
Big socks, yeah. Guys, I just wanted to say, just in terms of the Electoral College and whatnot, again, I hate to bring it back to Ireland, but in Ireland, we have a ranked choice. So you rate your candidates from 1 to 10 if there's 10 candidates. And if somebody isn't elected, the number 10 is eliminated and their votes are reallocated to everybody else. And it's a popular vote. It's equal representation. So if you live in a city, there might be 10 seats. And if you live in a sparse area in the countryside, it might only be 5. And we've had that for decades now. And what that's done for us, we've had a female president for 21 consecutive years. We're center-right, center-left, depending on the economy. But more importantly, the quality of the candidate that gets elected is always much, much higher than if you're just voting red or blue. And interestingly, in Ireland, in terms of money and finance, you are given a budget to spend if you're running for office, and you get reimbursed that if you get a certain percentage of the vote. So it means that big business cannot influence you, and you have to run on policy and policy only. And that's the utopia that you guys should have. That's called a democracy, and that's certainly not what you guys have in the USA.
It's all about money here.
That makes it where anybody can run, right? Like you just don't have the wealthy running. So the average guy can run.
You don't have to be in any. You can run as an independent, as an individual, or you can run as part of a party. And as long as you're over the age of 18 for like Congress, and it's right up any age, you have to be 35 to run for president, though. That's the only difference.
Yeah.
That's the same.
Yeah,
here.
that's the same here. Yeah. No, I fully. I know Maine has gone ranked choice with their votes. I think on a more local level, not on the whole national level, but from what I've read, with the outpouring of with votes in Maine, number one, Susan Collins isn't going to survive.
No.
Number two, they absolutely are loving ranked choice voting, and I am a big proponent of that. I think it's like how we voted for class president back in high school. Is like you have a couple candidates. Who's your first choice? Who's your second choice? Who's your third choice?
Yep.
And then, the popular vote wins, but it's still, you get the most points for, if you're voted number one, you get 10 points for number one, 5 points for number two, 1 point for rank three. And it works on that, and then whoever gets the most points wins the presidency.
So this one's
You
from
basically
Purple
just
Tulip.
explained. You explained pageantry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God.
This one's from Purple Tulip. Do you think Biden will pack the court?
I hope he does.
Can I just say this? Okay. This is my take on packing the courts. All right. So we're at a 6-3 majority for Republicans, for the conservatives, I guess. Let's say Biden wins. Okay. And we have the Senate and, whatever. And we're like living happily along, and we still have a 6-3 or whatever. And things are like kind of tooting along just fine. And then all of a sudden in 4 years, the Republicans take the White House again, and we still only have a 6-3. There is way too much on the line at that point. Like, we have to make sure that there is at least some sort of equal balance there. And they have been pushing, and they have been playing by the rules, I guess, if you will, because they fucking won, and they have the right to do this, which sucks, but they have the right to do it. And if we win, then we have the right to pack the courts. And I think that he should. And Murphy, I think that you agree with me on that.
Yeah, there was one senator, and I was just Googling it as you were talking about. I tried to, but my fingers aren't fast enough. There was one senator in the Judicial Committee that was, when they were confirming Amy Coney Barrett, he said verbatim, what have these proceedings become? They're useless because the candidate for Supreme Court is refusing to answer questions, and what are we actually interviewing them for when they've refused to answer questions? And it's just this whole proceeding has become completely useless. So if even the proceedings, or my big thing is Supreme Court justices should not be liberal or conservative.
They need to be unbiased.
They should be right smack in the middle.
Yeah.
Because when stuff comes to them, they should look at it with an open mind, and they shouldn't be, be getting, handouts from this party or handouts from that party. It should be one of those, well, let's think about this for a moment. We've been judges, on a local level, and then a regional level, and a district level, and now a federal level, and then the highest court in the land. We know what law, how it can be interpreted, how it can affect people of all demographics. If you want to, and I apologize, I've been drinking a lot, so I
think we all have been since, I don't know.
It's a 5-letter word that's in the White House that causes my alcoholism. But no, my point is that, what was my point?
I don't know where you're going with this.
No, I was trying to say, like, what's the point of having these proceedings if they're just gonna lie their way?
She didn't answer any questions.
Exactly. She didn't answer any questions. Yep. Then it's like, okay, well, if you're not going to answer any questions, then no, absolutely not.
She knew she didn't have to.
She didn't.
I know it was going to be a formality.
She was at the end. So, okay, you guys know, I'm the optimist. I'm the optimist.
Cheers.
I do see. Cheers. I am pleasantly surprised. We discussed it before we got on air that we did have 2 victories today, and both of those judges, from what I understand, leaned right, and they did the right thing today.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry for that. There's like a motorcycle going up and down.
Are you talking about
I just heard it now. Yeah.
What is that guy doing? He's like, so
doesn't he know we're on a podcast? Jeez.
I know. He's like,
Yeah.
Maybe
he's listening.
About us.
So
maybe he's listening and he's just trying to find your house.
I mean, as much as I detested Brett Kavanaugh, and see him sniveling and Kamala got him crying, which I loved. There are a few times. I mean, I the way he has looked at the law and gone, that I was surprised. Not saying I trust Amy Coney Barrett. I think she's crazy. That whole Federalist thing, I had to look into that and see what those shenanigans were about, and it's not good. It's not good. They look at the Constitution and they believe that the Constitution should not evolve with time, which is crazy. I mean, these guys wrote that crap a long time ago, and it needs to evolve for sure.
Well, and it was meant to be a living, breathing document and evolve, with the times. So I always laugh when people are like, well, so you're smarter than the founding fathers in 1776? No, I just think I have some different information than them people might have had. But, hey.
I mean, they did a pretty good job considering. They did a pretty damn good job. But
you guys like my love glasses?
I mean, we're still a very young country, right, Patty? You guys in Ireland. I mean, I'm really tired of hearing you brag about how awesome your country is.
Well, let me shut up. Let me.
But y'all got a long time to figure your shit out. We haven't had that much
sunglasses. I got mine.
Let me show off a little bit more.
I'm just kidding.
Hold on. I got my X-ray specs going on. There you go.
There we go.
You know what? I never fucking liked you anyway. And let me show off just a little bit.
Yeah, go.
In Ireland, because what we're all worried about is, in terms of the court, is women's rights, the rights of the rainbow community, etc. In Ireland, our constitution is a living, breathing document, and it evolves with the people in our country. Mm-hmm. So in the last 10 years, by popular vote, and we have referendum, by popular vote, overwhelmingly, almost 70% in both instances, we voted for marriage equality. We were the first country in the world to change our constitution for marriage equality, not just legislate for it. And the second one is we've made abortion legal and available to all women in the country, whereas up until 2 years ago it wasn't. So the only thing that can change that now is not a Supreme Court justice who's sitting there for 60 years and hasn't a clue what the pulse of the nation is. We can only change our constitution again by popular vote. So we have to go to the people again if we want to change it in any way, shape, or form. And again, that's how Switzerland do it, Sweden, France, Germany. That's how all other countries do it. We don't depend on 9 people who have no idea what's really happening in the world, who've been put there by political parties with political agendas, telling women what they can and cannot do with their bodies. It's disgrace.
I do want to say this one thing. This is a quote that off of what Patty just said. I am not an advocate for frequent changes in laws and constitutions, but laws and institutions must go hand in hand with the progress of the human mind. As that becomes more developed, more enlightened, and as new discoveries are made, new truths discovered, and manners and opinions change. With the change of circumstances, institutions must advance also to keep pace with the times. We might as well require a man to wear still the coat which fitted him when a boy, as a civilized society to remain ever under the regimen of their barbarous ancestors. That is a quote inside the Jefferson Memorial. And exactly going off of what Patty just said. We need to keep on evolving our Constitution. When was the last time an amendment to the Constitution was written?
We have one here in Virginia that we just voted on, and it was all about gerrymandering. That's another very important thing as well.
I'm going to use the opportunity to talk about the ERA, the Equal Rights Amendment, that literally is one state away from becoming an amendment in the Constitution.
No, it's not. Virginia made it. We made it. We were the last state to make it.
I thought there's still one more.
I believe we were the last state because it was a pretty big deal. But they said it was too late.
It was a big deal, but
I thought Virginia was the. I thought
they
Virginia
were like
was the
the
last
second
one.
to last one. I mean, it's still a big deal, but
Is it? Oh, is it? What's the last state then, Ryan? Is it? It's on Arizona.
I don't know. I'm
isn't
gonna
it?
have to look it up.
I thought. Oh, because that was a big push. That.
I hate to go off of Wikipedia, but it is. I really do because, and I mean the what's the word I'm looking for? The reputation of Wikipedia has not changed. I mean, I know they've strengthened their security, so not everyone can edit their articles, but because people used to be able to edit their articles, people, oh, well, anyone can edit a Wikipedia article. The Equal Rights Amendment, a proposed amendment to the U.S. Constitution designed to guarantee equal legal rights for all American citizens. Yeah, that was really slurred. Regardless of sex. I know. I apologize. It seeks
I
to
just can't believe you can read. You can read, man. That's like
I'm trying.
You know what?
to.
You know what?
hard.
You're
He's from
judged
fucking
by-
Ireland.
Yeah, I was gonna say when you're
Hold
being
on.
judged,
The
by
Irish
an
can drink,
Irishman-
though.
Jesus Christ. Okay, fine. All right.
And here's the thing: I don't even drink. I don't even drink.
I know. That's a
I
misnomer
started
about
at
the
noon,
Irish.
I do.
for Christ's sake. I started at noon. So give me a fucking break. It seeks to end the legal distinctions between men and women in matters of divorce, property, employment, and other matters. The first version of the ERA was written by Alice Paul and Crystal Eastman and introduced in Congress in December of 1923. And it's still not an amendment.
Correct.
The last one, the 27th Amendment, 1789.
So we have one
No,
more
wait,
state,
no,
Ryan?
I
House votes to
Hold it.
revive Equal Rights
Hold it.
Amendment, removing ratification deadline. That was in February 3rd. Sorry, man, you're trying to give us like the whole fucking history. I'm skipping to the end.
No.
House
The
votes to
amendment,
revive Equal Rights
the
Amendment, removing
27th. I
ratification
apologize.
deadline.
I apologize. It was for the 27th was first submitted in 1789. It was finally ratified in 1992. So that was the last time an amendment was ratified into our Constitution.
Which
That's
basically
crazy.
means for anybody who's watching this, if you're saying what is the ERA, it means that women are still not protected to have equal pay and to be protected against
go figure out all the
discrimination.
rich
Bullshit.
white-
It's like it needs
all
to
the
be
rich
voted.
white men in this country don't want women to have the same
Of course they
fucking rights
don't.
that they do.
Of
Holy
course they
shit.
don't.
And
They
on
want-
top of that, let's read this. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell said earlier this month that he's personally not a supporter of the amendment, and the Trump administration's Office of Legal Counsel has said that it considers the ERA expired, even though Congress removed the timetable.
So that's what I thought happened. I thought we got it through in Virginia, but they said that the time had gone, it had expired, and that's why it was no longer valid.
No,
But you're saying there's one more state out there?
there still needs to be one more state. And
God, I thought Virginia was, maybe there was another one that was like on the cusp of it. And, but we did get it passed in Virginia. That was huge.
Yep.
I mean, guys, progress, we can't, here's the thing, the entire day, I'm big into The Secret, which I know sounds totally hokey pokey, but I've just been manifesting Biden winning and thinking about the progress. We have to remind ourselves there is progress. So, you know, when my cat just bit me. Hey, don't bite me. Get away.
Okay.
It's a Trump cat.
She's
Yeah,
tasting
Virginia.
I'm not dead yet.
Oh.
Brian plays.
I'm trying to figure out now how many states need to vote
Ratify.
on. Yeah, how many need to ratify before it can become an amendment to the U.S. Constitution?
I can't remember.
Two-thirds. It's two-thirds.
37.
Was it?
It's 37.
Well,
I think you're at 36.
We're at 36.
Is it
So
30?
Virginia,
Virginia was 38th. From what I'm seeing, Hawaii, New Hampshire, Delaware, Iowa. I mean, I could go down the whole list, but Virginia was the last at 38th state.
So
to
doesn't that put
ratify.
us at 2/3?
You're making me do math.
Or there's
God damn
50.
it.
Hang on.
How about we research it and we'll do this next time?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
This
so
shit's
let's
boring.
get back to the question.
Talk down, yeah.
What else do you have, Nikki? What else?
Oh my gosh. So I want to ask you guys, all right, leading into tomorrow, I don't know how you guys are feeling, but I am like, and I don't know if you saw my post today on TikTok and Instagram, but I'm feeling a wide range of emotions. And 1 minute I'm like, oh, he's totally got this. And the next minute I'm like, what the fuck if he doesn't? What's going to happen? Like, what's going to happen to our country? So it's like my husband is he's hiding upstairs all the time because I'm like, what's going to happen? What do you guys think? I want to hear from everyone. We all live in different states. We all, have a different view, a different angle. So I want to hear from you guys what you think. Patty, go ahead.
Oh, yeah,
Patty, go ahead.
Oh, okay. I thought we were going to have a Wikipedia read there again. It was very lovely. No. So from my point of view, like I'm certain, like all of the data that I've seen, I have never been more certain that Joe Biden is going to be president. I did a prediction earlier on, and I think I had it at 358 to 180. That's where I have. That's the gap. It's going to be a popular vote by 35 million. I think it's going to be that much. That's how confident I am. And I'm looking at things like, new registered voters. I'm looking at the over 65s moving away from Trump. I'm looking at the fact that 97 million people voted early. I'm looking at all of these things, and there's no doubt in my mind. However, I am looking at all of this from a position of privilege. I'm living in a different country, and I'm excited and I'm, jazzed up for this. But I don't have to worry about my safety. I don't have to worry about the what ifs, and I don't have to worry about 2016 being wrong. And I look at my comment sections are just full of people who just want to hug, who are anxious, who are stressed every single day. And they come to my channel because I offer kind of a calming kind of voice and just say, hey, I'm outside the bubble and this is what it looks like is going to happen. But when Trump does lose, and he will lose, he's going to have the biggest hissy fit known to the planet Earth. He's going to spend weeks bitching and moaning and talking about the courts and whatnot. And by the middle of December, he's going to go to Mar-a-Lago and hole up for 4 weeks until inauguration happens. That's what I believe. There's not going to be a civil war. There's going to be unrest on the streets. But it's not going to be as bad as what we think. But I understand that you guys are more fearful and have to prepare for the worst, even if the worst never comes. And that's just my privileged position, I guess.
Okay.
So
go ahead.
So I remember when Trump got in, when he got elected, and here in Virginia, we had riots that shut down I-95. So for those of you that don't live on the East Coast, I-95 goes down the East Coast. 500 miles of the East Coast, 50% of the American population lives on. And we had so many people marching down the frickin' highway that they stopped it. So that constantly reminds me, and I was a participant in 2 women's marches in DC, and the first women's march, there were 1 million of us. So I'm constantly reminded that we are the majority, but that silent minority is not silent. That minority is very loud right now because they know they're dying off. And that's why they're loud, because they're scared that, they've got to be quiet because they're freaking
And
racist.
that's why they're being loud and proud. And it seems as though that they are the majority, but they're not.
And they're not the majority.
Yep.
So
I agree.
For me, I'm very calm. But, I'm a yoga instructor. So I have peace that I know that I have to be in control of my own reactions, but I am calm. I think that it's going to be okay. I think we're going to be okay. And my mom, she died 2 years ago. I held her hand as she took her last breath, and she was born and raised in Texas. She was a cowgirl, and she always had a phrase. She always said, she was always like, it's going to be okay. She just always had that phrase. And we're America. We're the good guys. And it's, okay, we got this asshole, but we've had a lot of presidents. We were due to have an asshole.
Yes, Kimberly.
Yeah, he's beyond an asshole.
Yeah, we were due. So I think I'm at peace. I think it's going to be rocky this week, but I think we're going to be okay.
I hope
I'm
so,
not
girl.
at peace. I'm not at
keep
peace
throwing
at all.
out that like wonderful.
I need to do
awesome
some yoga,
vibes.
some wusa stuff.
I do too.
Because I'm not there. I will hopefully feel better tomorrow or Wednesday when we have a fairly good idea of what, what's coming and where we are. But I think I hopefully can speak for all of us when I say I'm ready for this to be over. I'm ready for us to know what the next step is and what we have to do. Yeah. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not planning on leaving this country. And if Trump does end up winning, then I'm going to take a few days, take a nap, rest, and then I'm going to get ready to fight for another 4 years. And, that's all we can really do.
Yeah. Excellent. Agree.
With that being said,
you guys, honestly, you're amazing. Thank you for being on here. Thank you and we want to have you guys on, whenever we can. And you guys are amazing. So, absolutely. Yeah. But, with that being said, I just wish everyone a happy next 24 hours. As much happy as you can. Try and disconnect a little bit because I don't think that we're going to know anything for a few days after the election. Yep. It's kind of going to be up in the air. I will be going live with my TikTok. I'm sure you all will be as well. So, be in tune with that. And
before we lose too many people, I just want to say we're going to come back. It's looking like it's probably going to end up being on Friday. But all 5 of us are going to come back to do a post show. Because we all had our predictions and all that kind of stuff. So we want to come back with the same group of people and kind of talk about the aftermath, and hopefully it'll be more of a celebration and a release of stress and anxiety than talking about our game plan for the next 4 years. But so come back. We'll post all of our stuff just like we did for this. We'll be back on Friday. To everybody that tuned in and asked questions, and you guys all stuck around for the whole hour and a half. You guys are all awesome. We do these live shows for you guys. It's not just to hear ourselves talk. So thank you so much. Thank you. I just want to say thank you again to our guests, Old Man Murphy, Patty the Panda, Fitness Queen 99, Maria. If you guys don't follow them on any of their platforms, please go follow them. YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, most of them are on all of them. So
they're amazing. Amazing.
So I will see you guys on Friday. Thank you again for tuning in for being a guest on our show. I love you guys.
Thank you for having us. I
really and to all of our fans, for all of us, because it's not just Nikki and my fan, all of our fans are on here. So thank you for tuning in. We love all of you guys, and we wouldn't be here without you. So anybody else got anything?
My prediction for tomorrow.
There's going to be lots of drinking.
God damn right. Yeah. I don't care if I'm at my son's hockey practice, which, that's.
I'm just saying that for me.
It's for, I agree. There's going to be a lot of, I agree with Patty where he's going to put up a big stink. But he's going to hunker down in Mar-a-Lago. I really agree with that. It's and if you look at all the people that are saying that, there's going to be a civil war, they're the folks that start heaving and just wheezing if they climb a flight of stairs. So really, you think there's going to be a civil war? Are you shitting me? There's not going to be a civil war. There's not. They can't even hold. They hold their rifles like this, and the safety's on. We can see.
And not to mention, you are out here talking this shit. I just want to point out that not all Democrats are anti-gun. Not all Democrats are afraid to get out there. So if you all want to,
I did make that
promote us, fucking your face to town. I don't give a shit. I will come out there. I will stand up. I'm not going to sit back while you guys come out here and trash things. And honestly, I think the fact that we have DC and Jersey and PA and Arizona literally having to board up their stores and small businesses having to board up all their stuff, I think that's ridiculous. And the reason they're having to do that is because they think you guys, that we're all going to come out and just lose our ever loving minds. And since we don't have a president that's going to sit back and actually tell people, hey, just chill out, stay home, whatever happens, happens, the will of the people, the will of the people. This guy has no interest in the fucking will of the people. This guy wants to win, and he will do anything to win. Okay. So if you guys want a civil war, guess what? You'll get one. if you want it, but we're not going to sit back and let you take this country. Fuck no.
It's the same thing with Wisconsin. I mean, do you have any idea how many people that go away for deer hunting season?
Yeah.
It's not just Republicans. It's half the population of Wisconsin go off the grid.
Yeah.
For deer hunting season. So it's
funny
like,
how they tie that to the the conservatives
so
that they are the only ones that have
it's
guns.
a statewide thing.
Yep. It'll be really interesting to see how it all turns out on Friday. So
I'm going live tomorrow. I had a couple of people ask me.
What time are you going to go live? What time are you going to go live?
I'm probably around 9 p.m. I'm going to try and pull an all-nighter tomorrow, and I'm going to be live on and off.
And we're still going live at some point, right, Nikki?
Yes, absolutely.
So Nikki and I are going to go live together, just her and I, and then we're all going to do our own things. So tune into whoever you want to tune into. But yeah,
and then we are going to reconvene on Friday.
So did we decide on the time for Friday?
Not yet.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think we just 7.
Like Patty was saying, I don't think we're gonna, and like Nikki was saying too, I don't think we're gonna have all the results in on Wednesday. And I would much rather do the show.
I think we will by Friday though. By Friday, we're
know
like
what everybody has and everything. So
I know,
don't
right?
Have to get up early on Friday. So this is.
I love you guys. Thank you so much. We'll see you guys on Friday.
Yes.
Sounds great. Thank you so much.